Hi, good evening all. I am Harish Ram. I am going to present a presentation on the topic of web server in AWS. Okay, let's dive into the topic. So what is meant by web server? As a basic one, what is meant by web server? Yeah, here it is. Actually, web pages, we can say. So web pages, what is meant by then web pages? Web pages are the collection of like data, including images, videos, something like hyperlinks, text file is will be there. Okay. So these all are located on some computer, like also known as we can also say as a server space on the internet. Yeah. Here, a web server is going to dedicate is like I can say the web server is a dedicated software that runs on the server side. Okay. So when any user requests their web browser to run any web pages, the web server plays all the data materials together into the organized web page and it's going to forward them back to the web browser with the help of internet. So here, let me explain the diagram. So we are going to request from the browser, like HTTP request we are sending. So from the web server, okay, the file is going to be response in the HTTP response. Okay, same HTTP response. Okay, so and what is these web servers are used for? So there are some uh, usage of web services like building and publishing web pages, as I said earlier, like web hosting. So we can send and receiving emails and downloading requests for FTP files. Okay, so these are the some usage of web server. So here the main topic like web server in AWS. Okay, so we all know that the AWS is provide the services like EC2. I mean, we can create the virtual machines in this service. Okay. So in that virtual machine, we are going to set up a web server. Like I'm going to install the web server software on the EC2 instance and configure it to serve like web content. I'm going to show how we are going to set the web server in that EC2 instance, how to show the web content. Okay. And AWS also, we all know that it also offer the other services like hosting, like Lightsail. It is a simplified web server environment to hosting, to I mean like to for the web hosting. So and Amplify. These all are managed by some other services, CI/CD and hosting services for static and server side applications. Okay. Let's see how it's going to be work. Yeah, AWS web server. How is going to be work? Yeah, here there are some steps is going to be followed. So request, processing, content delivery, response, and display. Okay, I'm going to explain it detail. Like as a request, here the user going to open a web browser like Chrome, Firefox, etc. Okay, like and they are going to type like www dot for I mean www dot something online.com like that. Okay, here the browser going to translate this domain name into IP address using the DNS, so domain name system. So for AWS hosted websites, the IP we point to an EC2 instance, okay, or elastic load balancer or CloudFront. So today we are going to use this EC2 instance. So once IP is going to know, the browser send an HTTP request here. So these requests may includes like method, I mean get post something URL path, which is going to be index.html like that. Okay. So second step is processing. Okay. Here the the web server softwares like Apache, NGX, and AWS services like Elastic Beanstalk. And for Microsoft, we are using IaaS. I mean, I will talk about these IaaS on later slide. Okay. So here the server examines this URL path to determine which resource is going to request it. Okay. So the web server might fetch a static file from storage, pass the request one applications like for the dynamic content and all. So using the server side logic to authenticate, fetch data from databases, or perform other operations also. Okay. So this is going to be a second step. Then what is the third step? It is a content delivery. So based on that request, the server going to rotate what are the type like static files or dynamic content, the external resources as I already said, the static files in the example of HTML, CSS, JS, images, etc. So dynamic content generate the background logics like using the Django, Node.js, you know. So uh, in AWS, this step might involve like Amazon S3 for storing the static website files, like EC2 or Lambda for executing the backend logics. So other services are called RDS and DynamoDB, like for fetching or storing the data. Okay, so then we are going to talk about the fourth one. It is going to be response. It means server sends content back to us. Okay, so here the web server sends an HTTP response back to the client. The response includes like status code. I mean, it will be a 200 or 404 not. It's okay. Headers like content type or cache control, and the body, the actual content like HTML pages, JSON, and images, etc. What is the what is in the body of the content like that. So if the site use HTTPS, so the response is encrypted using TLS for security purpose also. Okay. Then we are going to the last stage of this process, like display. So browser renders the content. Browser is going to render this content. So okay, the client's browser receives the response in the HTML content and may make additional requests for style sheets, scripts, images, fonts. Okay. So the browser then renders the page and creating the visual layout the user sees. So any interactive components like forms or buttons are activated via the JavaScript also. Okay. So now I'm going to create a instance machine in one region and I'm going to host as a web server. LDC as a practical. But before that, I said that I want to talk about this IaaS. So IaaS is a service uh, which is given by a Microsoft for the web server. Okay. So see, it stands for Internet Information Services. It is a web server software that created by a Microsoft to host and serve websites, web applications and services on Windows. Particularly in Windows, they are using IaaS. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to open the Amazon console page. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to sign in with my Amazon account here. The user users. Yeah. So I'm going to sign in here. So like yesterday is going to ask for these for security purpose. They are asking the multi authenticator. So I'm going to skip for now. Yeah. Okay. It be. I'm in the region of Mumbai. Okay, Asia Pacific region. So I am going to create one instance here. So usage of with the example of EC2, I'm going to use this. See, the instance running is 0 and instance are 0. So I have a security groups with 2 and key pass with 1. Okay, so I'm going to use the existing key pass and security group for this instance machine. So I'm going to launch instance now. Launching the web service. Okay, so here I'm going to give the topic of giving the name as Windows. Windows Web Server is going to do, and I'm going to install the Microsoft Windows 2022 base machine. Okay. Yeah, it's get loaded. So after I come into check with instance type, it is a T2 micro with 1 GB and one CPU. Okay. So here the keeper, I already said that I'm going to use the existing keeper. So those key, yeah, it's going to be that. So I'm going to edit and I'm going to select the availability zones. So in subnet process, like I'm going to create in 1P. Okay. So in particular availability zone, I'm going to do this. So I already said that I already have the select existing group, like this, right? So I'm going to use this and I'm going to check with configure storage, and it's 30 GB. Yeah, it's free for free trial version, and I'm going to click the launch instance. So it shows a successfully initiated with launch of instance. So just click this, and we want to wait for a minute because it is going to take time for this initializing process. So here we want to wait for the status check process, like it's going to be with 2 by 2. So after we are going to connect with the ODP, then we are going to configuring our IAS web server. Okay. Let's check with this. So it's in the same like initializing process, status check in initializing. So we will wait. Okay, we need to wait for some more minute. Yeah, here it is showing like 2 by 2 check past. Okay, so now I'm going to connect this with RDP. Okay, so we have this three name. Okay, public DNS we need, and username and password. So for that password I downloaded the keeper, right? I'm going to use that keeper and I'm going to get the password. So just click the button decrypt password. So password it also showing here. So now I'm going to use the remote desktop application here. Yes. So just copy the public DNS name. Sorry. Yeah. Username as administrator. And just click the button connect. It's going to asking for the password. Just copy this password and paste it here, and just click OK and hit a button. Yes. So now it is going to launch the instance, launch the virtual machine. Okay, so server machine here. Okay, so it is a web server machine. So here I mean it is a server machine. Okay, here I am going to configure our web server using the IIS. Okay, so click start here and go to the server manager. So click the server manager. And wait for some wait for some minutes, wait for a few seconds. I can say wait for a few seconds because uh, it's going to take some time for processing this page. Okay, so the local server node service is going to be red color. After that we can go with next steps. Yeah, okay, here we are going to click add roles and features. Okay, and hit the button with next. So here we are going to use this role based and future based installation. Okay, so just check with its default, it will be selected, but otherwise you want to select this one, role based and future based installation, and here click next. Okay, so here it is going to be show our machine name with IP address and name. Okay, okay, check Windows. Okay, I mean the server selection, it is meant by server selection, so check with this and click next button. So here we are going to install a web server. So there are a lot of services there, like ADDS or there, so DHP is there, DNS is there, but here we are going to use a web server. So here you want to check with web server IIS. Just click with this and click the add features. Okay, it is in features now, so we can next, and you can also select the web server role. It is, so you can also select the next. So your web server role IIS is there, so check with this and next. Yeah, here the role services are there, so you can also click the next here. And I think for these services we don't need the restart to I mean restart the server. Okay, so it is fine, so we can proceed with install. So it is started to install the web server IIS. Okay, so it will take some time. to install all this process. Then we will check or we will try to access our web page. It will take some time, so we'll wait and we will proceed with the steps. Yeah. So here it is showing the successful message: installation succeeded on our server, computer name. Okay, just close this, and hereafter I think it will be not needed. Okay, so we configure our IES web server here. I'm just closing. Okay, here so just now uh, we configure our web server. Okay, so where will be so the web pages like in the all things is going to be in this PC in local disk C. Okay, in local disk C, just select it and you want to check with the folder name inetpub. Okay, so select here. Inside of this inetpub there will be a folder called www root. Okay, click with that. So default here the web pages is there, and it is a default web pages like IIS start, which is done by our Microsoft. Okay, now we are going to uh, use this public DNS name with our machine. Okay, so yes, in these instances, okay, yeah, here why it is not allowing this, because we didn't check with the HTTP protocol. In security group we want to add that protocol because we only add the RDP. Okay, so we want to add with HTTP. So for this we want to select the machine and select the tab of security. Okay, so here we want to click the security group. Here we have this rule. Okay, I have the all TCP and RDP, but I didn't allow the HTTP. So for this I want to add this rule, like edit bound rules. Okay, click that edit bound rules. in edit inbound rules. Okay, I provide this all TCP for my another purpose, but I will delete this now. So here going now only RTP is there, so I'm going to add the rule with searching of HTTP. So HTTP, I added this, going to save here. So here we want to click with this and 0.0.0.0/0. So just now I added the rule of HTTP. Okay, with this yeah, shall we check now? Yeah, I'm sorry, actually I did one mistake, so I want to change this. Okay, I already changed this, but I want to show in our presentation. So in our edit inbound rules, actually here I given with HTTP. Okay, so you want to give with anywhere IP4, and we want to save your rule again. Okay, so just I already done with this, so I'm going to cancel this now. So I added this HTTP. Okay, here now what I'm going to do, so I'm going with details. 1 second. Like I'm search this. So in details page we have our public IP4 DNS names. Okay, just copy this and go with another tab. Just click here, just search. Okay, so now it's going to be done. If it is not coming, as well as if after adding the inbound rule with the HTTP and it is also not coming, then you want to check with here. So here it is showing not secure, but even though in some pages it will like, here we want to check with this HTTP, it is in HTTPS or HTTP. So if it is in HTTPS, then we need to change into HTTP, and then we want to, if we click enter, then the page will be shown here. So this is the web page which is defaultly created by the Microsoft. Okay, for example, I'll also make with another one. So in my file explorer I'm having like so for tables I'm going to copy and paste this content here in the same page. Okay, in the inside the folder of inetpub, and inside the inetpub www root I'm going to paste all these files and folders. Okay, just copying here and going to my web server machine. So in this file manager I'm going to delete these pages. Here I'm going to paste this. So this is the web page which we created, like online shopping, for online shopping, vegetable markets, supermarket, something. So it's taking time. It will take time to copy, and after the copy, we will check with the browser. Okay. here all the files will get copied in our server machine. Okay, so it is in the folder of local disk C. In local disk C, it is in the folder of inetpub. In inetpub, in www root, I pasted all these files. Okay, so now we'll check with that same page in our machine. Okay, which is in client machine. So see, I'm going to refresh the page. Yeah, so here it is a vegetable website, so which I pasted there, just I'm using as a client here. Okay, so this is how we need to do our, and we need to configure our web server in our EC2 instance. Yeah, then after this, so please terminate this instance. Okay, yeah, so it's showing a pop-up message like successfully initiated the termination, but in this page it will be see automatically the remote desktop service has been ended. Okay, so in this page it is going to reflect after some time. Okay, it will take for 10 to 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, if you after 20 after some time you check with this, the instance will be not there. See, when we click on the dashboard, here it is showing that instance running is 0 because I terminated the instance. Okay, but some of them in instance it will show like 1, but after some time it will also show like 0. Yeah, and thank you all. Thank you.